Hello, everyone. You did great in Limited Life. Thank you. Limited Life was crazy this week. I had the weirdest work week I've ever had in my whole entire life, I think. This was a weird week. It was one of those weeks where I stepped in for a lot of other people, or just 2 other people. On Monday, I was recording Skyblock as normal, and a little Cleo messaged me at around like 10:30 and said that their computer is not good, and that they couldn't play Limited Life. And Limited Life recording was that day. I had about 5 hours notice. You have to understand, I've never watched Limited Life. I've not seen a single episode of this series from any of the seasons. I didn't watch Third Life. I didn't watch whatever the middle one was. I didn't watch Limited Life. I have no context, right? I was jumping into a series with like negative context. Like I knew nothing. Cleo told me a couple of things. But again, by the time I had like the Limited Life thing set up and had managed to log into Cleo's accounts, I had about 3 hours, and I needed to finish my own Skyblock recording. So I didn't know anything. I mean, I literally went in and I didn't even know the enchanting rules. I didn't know really that like helmets weren't allowed. Like I didn't know anything. I did my best. That was the hardest thing I've ever done though. It was really hard. Cleo said, if you get the chance to kill Etho, do it. And I did. And I don't love the way that it worked out. Like, I think that if I was playing my own character, I would have rather play, like, the bodyguard type. But I kind of needed to play the initiator, and I'm not super good in that role. I did my best. I know some people are mad at me for being on the server and being okay at PvP and not acting like I'm bad at PvP. There are other good PvPers on that server. Gran and Scott and Joe, they're all cracked at PvP. They're probably better than me. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at that type of improv, and it was interesting to step in. I tried at my best. Hopefully Etho recovers. I'll be nice to him this week. It was hard, but it was really good. I'm so glad that Cleo reached out to me. That was so kind of them. Very, very, very grateful for the opportunity. Because I think that's stressful for both parties, right? Like, I was trying to record something desperately, hoping to give Cleo some content, because otherwise Cleo's computer was broken and she had no content. So I needed to record something. And that's pressure. You know, and it's not my edit. It's not for my channel. It's for Cleo's channel. That was stressful. It was really good though. I'm really glad that I did it. It was a really fun recording session. It was so fun. Did you know about Lizzie stepping in? Yeah. So Pearl knew that she was gonna be away, right? Pearl was planning a trip somewhere, so Pearl knew that she would be stepping out then. Cleo did not know until her PC went right before the recording. So that means Pearl also didn't know. Nobody knew until a couple hours before, including myself. Because it wasn't planned. It wasn't like premeditated that me and Pearl, or that Pearl and Cleo would be out at the same time. Did you get to see Cleo's first reaction to seeing your recording? Well, she typed a couple of things to me, but other than that, no. The accent was funny. Yeah, I was really giving it my all with the British accent. Thinking about joining the next Life series? I would think about it if I were invited, but I don't know. I'm so torn. I loved recording it. I did really love recording it, and for the most part, the reactions were wonderful, and I'm so grateful for that. But it's like that little tiny piece of the audience that doesn't want you to PvP. That makes me, like, I feel like every time I go in and, like, trapped something or, like, hit somebody with my sword, like, I feel like you'd always have those people in the back of your head that you're, like, you're making sure that you're not going too far. You can't, like, fully commit to the bit. I don't know. I'd be nervous. It makes me nervous. The amnesia cold was genius. Yeah, that was funny. It's really weird logging into somebody else's account and getting on, and you're just in a world that you've never seen. Because I haven't watched the videos before. I don't know where anything is. I have no idea how we got here. My inventory is a disaster. I don't know any of the rules. I know that I have sons, and that I asked Cleo, like, what do you want for content? Like, what am I trying to do? And she said, if you get the opportunity to kill Etho, then take it. The opportunity didn't really present itself. I kind of had to force it, but we made it work. But it was so fun. It was so fun. Poor Etho, yeah. You did not hold back and really pushing about Scar being your favorite son. Yeah, well, the thing is, even just in, like, any series, I really like getting under B-Dub's skin. Because he just improvs so well, and he's such a, like, yes and person. Like, he can take something and run with it. So I love just being, like, that heel for him. Just, like, I don't know, just really, really just driving home a point. It's funny to me. His reactions are just so good. They're so good. Training for Etho didn't help. Yeah, I think if I had gotten to do that cameo as like my own character, like if I had gotten to log in on the GeminiTay account, I think I would have ran more with the bit that we had on Hermitcraft, and I would have probably taken the stance of trying to protect Etho or something like that, like based off the training. But I had to pretend to be Cleo, so it went a different direction, which I'm happy for. I think that was good. I think it pushed me out of my comfort zone a bit. Did Cleo tell you to say Scar was your favorite son? I think that was all me. I think I watched like the first 15 minutes of her previous episode. Those episodes are long. Like, with the time, like, I had no time to watch the episodes. The episodes are like 30, 40, 50 minutes long. I wasn't catching up. Like, I had no time. I wasn't about to be able to watch the whole series. There was not time for it. I'll see what Cleo told me exactly. Let's see. I'll leak some DMs. She said, I have a favor to ask you if you're free. You sub in for me Unlimited Life. I said, what time? How long? What skin? I haven't watched a single episode. Do I need to know any lore? And she gave me all the time and stuff. She said, current lore is mom to Scar and B-Dubs, and Etho is the absent father. I don't know how I got here. And I said, sounds fun. Then I talked about needing to get a babysitter for Winnie, which I did. Then I logged onto her account, and we set all of that up. And then I said, is there anything you want me to do while I'm you? And she said, we're 2 hours away from red life. So if you'll die, you'll go red. There's a chance for a killing spree, and if you have the chance, kill Etho. And then they explained some of the allies, which I did not retain this information. I'm going to be real. Because, okay, they said, like, strong allied with mean gills. I don't know. Martin and Scott. But, like, that went in one ear and out the other. I didn't listen. So I really got into there and was like, everybody's my enemy. I don't know what's going on. And then Scott would come up to me and be like, we're on the same team. I'd be like, oh, yep, I remember. I found that was funny. Those moments were really funny where I got to be like, where they had to remind me of something. Like, Cleo, you remember this, right? And I was like, yeah, got it. Don't worry. It's really difficult to retain that information in a short period of time with a lot of chaos going on. But I found that to be really funny. But no, she didn't. They didn't say anything about favorite son. I don't know where I got that. But I sure ran with it. I just had a really big bias towards Scar, I guess. I don't really know where I got that, but I was instructed to kill Etho. We'll give myself that. Poor B-Dubs. Yeah, B-Dubs was the first person who greeted me. B-Dubs logged in next to me. And I immediately wanted to, like, rearrange everything that Cleo had before we even got started. So beat-ups had to explain all the rules of enchanting and stuff. It was really good though. I watched a little bit of Pearl's video and her reaction, like I don't actually think she really knew what was happening. She would have found out in the Discord the same day, obviously, but it gets funny. The first reactions of people coming up and the character being the right character and the right skin, but having the wrong voice is hilarious. Right, where's my milker? Oh, there's a baby duck! Dolly! Oh my goodness! Cleo! Hi! Hey, Cleo. Hi, Cleo. We were talking about limited life at the beginning of stream. Thanks for letting me be in your limited life. Yeah, hi, Mom. She's Mom now. I'm off duty. Some people have done some awesome art of it, though. Seems to have been the best thing ever. Yeah, people loved it. There was some awesome art on Tumblr, Cleo. I don't know if you saw it. It was kind of low-key shipping, but it was really cool art. And I don't really mind the shipping. It was really cool, though. And there was, like, so much awesome, like, slaying art. Like, your skin and me with a mask on, or, like, your skin but with the antlers and the sword. It was so good. It was so good. Honestly, I did not expect you to get him twice. Yeah. I didn't really expect that either. I kind of had to force the interaction, which you know because you edited it, but I don't know if the audience. Like, you said if an opportunity comes up to kill Etho, which in my head I went, well, I've got to figure out how to make an opportunity come up. But, like, everybody on that server is doing traps, and I didn't really have time to research any traps, so, like, I don't know how to make TNT go off. So I really had to get him with my sword. So I forced him into a scenario with my sword and beat him to death while he had his shield up. But then he came at me a second time with axe critting, and he could have won, but he backed away. He gave up. My bad. It was fun. It was fun. It was a little stressful, but it was fun. It was his fault coming back to you. He knew better. Yeah, and he also tried to kill us with his own trap under the campfire, which I feel like people are just, like, kind of letting that go. Like, he did try to kill me and all 3 of his children. I'm just saying. He had it coming. Scar did fully grief him, but he had it coming. All 3 of his children? No, all 2 of his children. He only has 2 children. I don't know what the family dynamic is. I've never seen Etho so salty about a trap being broken. That was really funny. Scar was really just, like, on a different level, that recording, though. It was crazy. Oh my gosh. He completely just broke character to threaten him. I've never made him do that. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. That was funny. You could tell he was salty, though. It was funny. It was funny. It was a good character break moment. Scar fully just, like, flipped that trapdoor for no good reason, though, which I think is what's funny about it. Like, he wasn't even, like, suspicious of anything. He was just clicking stuff. It's dysfunctional family. It truly is, isn't it? So fun, though. So fun. Pretty sure it's you breaking the redstone that killed him in that explosion rather than Scar. I don't know how traps work. I did break the redstone. I thought that would stop the, like, I don't know anything about redstone. I thought that there was a button somewhere and that you had to press it to get it to go off. So I broke the line so that he couldn't trigger it via a button or whatever I assumed that he had. But if me breaking that redstone line caused it to update and caused the TNT to go off, that does make sense. I never really analyzed it. I didn't look at the footage, obviously. You did. But yeah, it's such a challenge in recording. I don't know how you guys do that every week. Like, that much improv is crazy. Like, the decisions that you're making are crazy. Yeah, it's really hard work. It's really hard to improv like that. It's really hard. I don't feel like the limited lifers get enough credit for that. The swap was so enjoyable. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. It was so good. Meanwhile, Pearl, Lizzie made like 3 times. Pearl, Lizzie in Limited Life, I assume, I wasn't in the Discord, but I assume had a lot more heads up than me. I had about 4 or 5 hours. Lizzie would have had a couple of days, I assume, at least, to like research. I couldn't look up any traps. I didn't have time. Lizzie had a week. Yeah. There's a big difference there. There's a big difference in the amount of research and prep that you can do being thrown in with a few hours versus being thrown in with a week's notice. You can catch up on the series. You can figure out what's going on. You can't do that if you're if you're being thrown in day of. I think it was more entertaining with B-dubs explaining everything to you. Isn't it crazy to remember? Yeah, that was my favorite part. When I would say something, he would be like, no, remember? I'd be like, I remember for sure. Yeah, like nobody told me the rules, chat. I feel like that also needs to be said. Cleo explained some lore and like some basic rules on like yellow can't kill red or yellow can kill green, like that type of stuff. But I joined the call and I said, hey, Cleo's armor's a little bad. Like, is there anything that I can do about that? Am I allowed to enchant it? And Grant just said yes. Wait, there are rules for enchanting. I figured out in the moment. But luckily B-dubs got to teach me those. And I didn't break any rules. It's all good. I figured it out. All by myself, kind of. That was funny, though. I loved it. Good little improv learning experience for me, for sure. Yeah, it was fine. There's not too many salty Etho fans, to be honest. Everybody's pretty good. What SMP are we talking about? Limited Life. I stepped in on Limited Life on Monday. Cleo edited it and put it on her channel. If you are wanting to see it, you should. Definitely should. It's very funny. Me not being able to work the door, I think, was also one of the funniest bits. It wasn't a bit. I genuinely couldn't work the door. Every time I went through it, I was like, I can't remember why we put this door in. It's really stupid, though. Skizz! Hi, Skizz! It's good to see you. I need to give Skizz VIP. There you go, Skizz. Now you're way easier to see. Skizz, you're a drummer? Yeah, you could do it. You could do it. Alright, I'm just be honest. Skizz says, Gem, I gotta tell you, my wife was cracking up when he fought me off saying, you do not want the smoke, Skizz. You do not want the smoke. It was true, though, you Skizz. You didn't want it. You did not want it. You were not going to win that fight. That was not going to be good for you, buddy. That was funny, though. The skin makes it way better, too. Your skin. I love the Scott up in the background. So I forget what he said to Scar. Oh, it was funny, though. It was a funny moment.